If anyone is listening to this, there's something I need you to do.
Grats, Mrow. The commentary cycle shifted from how you were flirting with a minor after criticizing a Cheeto for talking to a possibly mentally ill girl into possibly doing a bit for a video, which I don't even think he went through with. After taking that swing and miss, it was a shit show where you lied, coped, and finally came clean about it.
Yes, lyrics, it was flirting. I did like it, and I enjoyed the attention I got from it. Okay? Is that what you wanted?
Are you memeing, or is that actually the thing? Because honestly, I think
No,
that
dude.
is looking
No,
at
dude,
it. I mean, it
listen,
makes sense.
there's no
You only
no
talk to
fucking
girls that way
point,
for
okay, Larry,
attention.
listen to me. Listen to me. There's no fucking point in trying to run from this, okay? I leaked all the DMs. It's all out there. I'm trying to move away from this. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Okay, this is fucking retarded. I'm just gonna fucking say it, okay? Is that good? Is that what you wanted? Yes, lyrics, it was flirting. I did like it, and I enjoyed the attention I got from it.
Credit to CB2 commentary for that clip, lyrics for getting Morale to finally confess, and Aiden Underground for going through the two debates that he needed to do to actually get this little shit to admit to all of this. But he might be cool with Morale now? I don't know. Way some commentary channels network is weird to me. Let's not forget about Slime Beast, who, why I don't agree with on all the details, I can agree with this idea of morale being commentary cancer. And none of this is meant to excuse Himpleton. Quick disclaimer, I've been around in his Discord for a while now, though I only took a real interest in the Mama Max stuff. The whole Plague Moth stuff, I was in and out on. And he definitely made himself out to be a clown more recently. A lot of that is in regards to defending morale from what's out there publicly and also from what I know from the original mods in Himpleton's Discord. I'd like to understand what spurned this sort of meltdown on this time for him. And for anyone who's curious, at the time of this recording, the day before Thanksgiving, I've heard Himpleton is doing fine. I'm not in direct contact with him. I know a few of the original mods from Himpleton's Discord server, and one of them is still in contact with him. Not that there was a lot of the original mods there after Morale started hanging out with Himpleton. So I have to wonder if it was just Morale literally trying to push away the people who pretty much waited for Himpleton to come back from the mental institution that he was at for a while on purpose, or if just his overbearing personality drove him away. Frankly, I see that as the start of the decline of Himpleton. I wasn't there for a lot. I did go on one stream to assist a different mod with presenting a certain document that I was informed on a certain leftist who was a little gun-ho about supporting maps. If you don't know what that stands for, good on you. Probably don't want to know about that brain rot idea out there. So I went on and helped sort of get the content flowing and going along. But of course, Morale and a couple of buddies he brought in was like boring. And somehow they started a fight with Slime Beast where I just sat around awkwardly for a while. There's a lot of little things like Morale flirting with someone in chat that really just was like, yeah, these streams aren't for me. And I've heard even worse things from the original mods of Himpleton's team. Not that Morale was the only reason mods left. There was another incident that I haven't seen anyone bring up. Curious if that's gonna make it into the coverage later on. Cope and Steve, basically Beckett's documentary, will illuminate on that. I have bits and pieces from the mods about the details of that. Let's just say the things about Furin wasn't the only e-bagger out there, but it wasn't within Himpleton's server. It was a different schizo server that this sort of started out on. Point I want to bring up is Morale helped isolate Himpleton from his original mod team, but that wasn't purely on him. At least one of them got banned, And another one, sort of in solidarity or defense, or because he defended the one who got banned, that other mod sort of got outed from the original team. No matter what, isolation is what happened to Himpleton. And to be clear, Himpleton is the one who went against the advice of most of his older mods, because why wouldn't he? What would they know about content creation? And I'm sure the advice Mrow gave Himpleton was just so good.
I've spent fucking months trying to get this guy to realize fucking anything. I'm just not.
Hell, I tried to get him on the Leo convoy investigation early on, and crickets there. Just a suggestion. Just like I suggested a few times, I don't know if directly to him, that small commentary is a little insane. Although I had the caveat that maybe art commentary community or slideshow commentary community might be more insane. I am sort of mixed on that. So when I started seeing small commentary channels I know from small commentary, I sort of, stop going into the Discord as much. Now, even if I'm wrong about the sort of manipulative nature of morale that I'm hinting at, and a couple of other people who made their way into Himpleton's new friend group, we see how that turned out. It never hurts to be aware of the warning signs of, this type of stuff. Something Himpleton really should have been aware of because of all the Mama Max stuff. There it is at the top. A love bombing, prime tactic of Mama Max at the beginning of his career. Now, maybe I'm being too hard on morale here. Maybe he's just a liar and not a manipulator. There is a case to be made that is what Himpleton became after, being around them for so long. Not that I can completely discount that he could have been one from the start, and birds of feather flock together. For the autistic people out there, it means similar type people are attracted to each other. Himpleton just broke down why morale powered through it, and is probably much better at doing all of that. Still, it's good to be aware of those warning signs, so I will link the article down below for, again, a lot of the sort of spurgy autistic people out there in the community. It's worth a read, I think. So let's talk about the friends who came in later and stayed with him up until the Aiden Underground stream with Beckett and Xylee. After that, they pulled Himpleton into what they're calling a fireside chat. I mean, this comes off as totally weird. I don't know why they put it out publicly, because this thing seems more like an intervention than anything else, but also struck me as odd because the first time I became aware of Ace was in a video exposing Zero Needs Coffee. And he just played a bit role back then to sort of back up Clappy Seal. I could explain it all myself, but very conveniently, Sammuuall covered that sort of saga long after that video by Clappy Seal was down for being mocked by at least Wacky TV. Still, when commentary was sort of going on, making fun of Clappy Seal for his completely weird videos, trying to argue that furries should have minority status, he definitely capitalized on that.
One of these extreme mishaps was early last year, when Clapsil released a video on fellow commentator Zero Needs Coffee, alleging some very serious things.
During December 2022, up until just a few weeks ago, Zero Needs Coffee was in contact with a 16-year-old fan of his that he had received and condoned explicit pictures from. Zero was 18 during the course of their contact, and the victim was 16. The age of the victim was only a concern to Zero months into their conversation.
Clapsil's poorly made video makes it out to be that Zero Needs Coffee is the next big EDP-like figure. The video in question puts heavy emphasis on the 2-year age gap between Zero and the person he was speaking to, painting almost as a criminal and getting into calls with him and interrogating him profusely.
Like I was like doing something wrong, or I was being like a pedophile or something. I thought 18 and 16 was fine. It was because I
Well, are you
there was
sure
people
you
talking
didn't
about
know it
this
was wrong?
earlier.
Because on the
I just want-
25th
Okay.
on the 25th of March, not
doesn't
long
make
ago.
it right. Me not knowing it was wrong doesn't make it right. You know, like that's not my point. I'm just telling you like where my head was at. You know.
Well, it proves
But like
that
I
you
said-
had some guilt behind it, and that you knew what you're doing had consequences, and yet you still proceeded to think, even through a passing thought.
Every precaution necessary to make Zero Needs Coffee come off as malicious as possible, framing it that Zero Needs Coffee effortlessly searched for this person, trying to find the right person to pick.
Zero Needs Coffee is a YouTube channel of nearly 900,000 subscribers. He used that power and influence to pluck a person out of the audience and start talking to him.
The video also focused too heavily on the fact that Zero Needs Coffee wouldn't stay off Twitter instead of the allegations at hand, mishandling the situation entirely.
Freak people out or get concerned over Zero, we allowed Zero to just log out of the socials. In doing so, we were putting a lot of trust in Zero, and we made that very clear in the call. We told him if he couldn't keep that trust, then well, things would go a bit different.
Well, that's kind of you allowing him to log out of his own socials. I'm sure this won't be an ongoing point throughout the fucking video.
On my phone, Zero had uploaded a video. I'm fixing my YouTube channel, accompanied with a post to his Twitter, a change in YouTube banner, another video about God of War, and with a pinned comment linking to his Twitter.
I just want to talk to him.
Why do you have a shotgun?
I just want to talk to him.
Dad, this is ridiculous.
I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him.
I also
I'm
can't,
not even sure, I'm sorry.
yeah, but at the same time, Zero, I almost can't trust your word on that sort of thing. You posted a link on your latest
Why
video. You posted a comment on your latest video. You pinned it. You asked people to go follow your Twitter. And you went to Twitter.
I don't know, but I think Zero might have logged on to Twitter.
I am truly sorry to the people who were excited about Zero's return to form, to the ones that thought this was some redemption arc, and that everything was cool and awesome. I wish it could be like that.
After this video, Zero's chance of redemption was practically zero. His reputation had been completely slandered, regardless of the fact that the majority of people that saw this video spoke out against Clabsil. The labels that Clabsil and others had inferred on his name were already starting to stick. Although the messages that Zero was sending were degenerate, cringe, and some would say weird and bizarre, he was not a predator, and to infer that was just slandering his name. The video completely mishandled the situation and needed to be directed in a different direction.
Frankly, I think that video was a little bit over the top, hyperbolic about the criticism of Clappy Seal's video. Just a bit, but it did feel like a little bit like what Sammuuall, Ace, who was in this video, and Amos was doing to Himpleton here. Plus, I think he sort of left out some context that another YouTuber who was out it from their ranks, who even featured in this particular video, who had his own little Discord meltdown, sort of covered.
I know, I'm not saying that Zero is a pedophile because I don't think he is a pedophile. Once again, the 2 age gap, but at the same time, this is the most creepiest and degenerate shit I've seen in a while.
Alright, I'ma just say it. Are you cool with sending pics? Of what? Boobs? Yeah, I'm just wondering. Don't feel pressured. Then later in that same day, claiming to be horny as fuck. And the following day, 28th of January 2023, just past 8 AM, Zero and the victim established as the label of friends with benefits. Reminded that this is between a 16 and 18-year-old. A few hours later, at 12 AM, Zero would again request explicit images. Your aunt leave yet? They did. Alright, you still want to take pics? Got a few requests. Alright, can you take some pics of your aunt? Then at 2:53 PM, we have a screenshot of Zero saying, quote, I bet you give good head.
He's so fucking desperate. He's risking his whole career because how desperate he is. He's a fucking degenerate. It's a shame to see someone who got so much clout in a short amount of time to go down like this. It's just sad.
I'm literally wanting to send you stuff. Alright, what's your status, man? Gay. Didn't your ex record something with you? He did. It's bad quality. I mean, I have a video of sucking his dick. Send both? I don't care about the quality. Are you sure? Alright. Yeah. Hello? I had to find them. It's uploading. The victim would then post 2 videos into the DMs. We can infer from Zero's reaction to the videos that the oral sex must have been one of them, as this was the one with the shaky quality. Zero then says, I don't know you meant bad quality, isn't it shakes all over the place. Thanks though.
Despite as dumb as Mythic is, Healy selected the better parts of Clappy Seal's video to highlight in his. This group has a habit of being associated or call themselves friends with people they have to out later, which I find very interesting in very many ways, especially since someone I had a slight run-in with a while ago who actually has a connection to Kumo, not in a good way, featured in one of Ace's second channel videos, the most vile YouTuber to ever exist. Yeah, recently there's been a situation with Mythical with mix of new stuff and old stuff that has been brought to light recently. Mythical had beef with blah, blah, blah. Otherwise, this dude, Mythical, definitely doesn't know boundaries within Discord, which seems to be a theme of a lot of these commentary channels. And a question I have, which still goes unanswered, how did Himpleton get into that recorded call that everyone's mocking now with CV? The fireside chat recorded intervention with Himpleton brings up they know the reason that Himpleton basically got in contact with CV, but my question is, what led to the call with CV? Now, I can only infer because another person who got outed from their little group, rather weird guy called No Miss Yoff, has many videos on No Miss Yoff, and even one month ago did YouTube most disgusting commentary, Mrow. Not going to get into it, but I did find something interesting in one of his No Miss Yoff videos that I thought would be interesting to play, even if CV is clearly a deranged individual. Dan.
When Sam wanted to get in contact with the victim, I just couldn't, in good faith, trust him to handle the situation with the benevolence it deserved, and thus refused to give them Casey's tag upon being asked. I'll also elaborate on this later. Now, upon my refusal, first LT Beast joined my server. I knew precisely what he was after, and promptly kicked him. I assume this pissed off Sam, so much so, that he went out of his way to get one of his friends to join my server on an alt account, purely to get Casey's tag. Quite slimy, really. Though, if I say this gutted me, that would be a gross understatement. I honestly felt like I failed Casey. I wanted their voice to be heard. They just wanted an excuse to talk about Nomis again. If Sammuuall making jokes about how Nomis's pet bird passed away wasn't enough, quite literally searching up the amount of times Sam has mentioned him on Twitter, I can assure you, he tends to jump at any opportunity to speak about the man. And if that's not enough conviction, Sam's Twitter bio quite literally features Nomis. It's one thing to constantly talk about him, but having him in your literal profile as a trophy is crazy. However, after they got Casey's tag, they sent them a request, invited them to a group chat, and ended up conducting an interview. Only a few hours later, a document with said interview was released. And despite everything, for what it's worth, the interview was conducted rather well. Document's main writer, Spinling, who was present when Casey stated they wanted their name to be censored.
Side note, Binlin was also in the Discord. Originally with the Mama Max stuff. I don't know if he was one of the original mods, but he had a whole sort of weird thing with Plague Moth and some crap.
Sam told and involved several people in this, in the name of collaborating on a document, but after gathering such an audience, not a single person could see such a troublesome blunder. Like seriously, some of these screenshots aren't even in order. Now for the second issue. Firstly, some lore is necessary before actually getting into it. This may seem irrelevant at first, but trust me when I say there's a payoff for this. I'm going to be blunt. Two of the main people behind the creation of the doc, Sammuuall and Spinling, do not like me. We do not get along. We aren't friends. They have shown their distaste towards me numerous times.
Yeah, well, actually, ban them. Ban them. That's the one person you can ban. That's the one person you can ban because no one else has been banned. Just that person has been banned. It's ZV Vakwe or Vakwa or however you say the name.
Which isn't necessarily a problem. It only becomes one if said distaste seeps into not only a document, but also an interview, which is meant to be reporting on someone allegedly being blackmailed and groomed. For instance,
the victim had come forward to ZV after searching Nomis's name on YouTube and learning about his previous allegations levied against him. Xavier in DMs with the victim had remained cautious, but later aired them for several days. Xavier then created a group chat where commentary YouTubers Sammuuall and LT Beast were told about the situation. The situation in this group chat was mishandled by Xavier and used purely to score points against him due to his video. Sammuuall raised concerns over this and left the group chat, taking the situation to me, Ace Howler, and Ashley LaCringed, former commentator. Here we worked on reaching the victim and talking to them about the situation.
Let's dissect this rather quickly. Firstly, this small snippet from the document has very little relevance to the situation. There is little to no reason as to why I had to be mentioned this many times. This is to document serious allegations of an entirely different person. This context, if you could even call it that, was not necessary. In all honesty, really, my main relevance is being the person Casey first contacted regarding their story. That's kind of it. There is no rationality behind being mentioned in the document this many times, unless there was an ulterior motive. Same goes for the interview.
ZV.
ZV. ZV.
ZV.
ZV.
Notice how 7 out of the 13 times I was mentioned, over half of the total, was by Spinling? More on that later. I've already been mentioned 13 times. I have no issue with being brought up when and where necessary, but this is just excessive. Like, come on.
And like the fact that like 3 years later he still has it and sent it to me.
Yeah,
Like, come on, that's not normal.
No, not at all. Ace, spinning, do you have like any questions in particular?
Might sound silly, but when you messaged ZV, was there any indication that ZV was being like silly or was like a bit trolling or something? Like he wasn't acting serious about the situation?
Is this nigga serious?
Because I don't know if you know ZV prior, but he's not the most normal person.
Huh?
Because ZV, all ZV does is he does it to get a reaction out of people. He doesn't, realistically, he really doesn't care about your story. He just doesn't like Nomis.
So why bring up this video from the person who literally everyone's mocking the conversation between him and Himpleton here? It just makes me wonder, in this intervention for Himpleton by Amos, Ace, and Sammuuall, they allude at the 2-minute marker that they know why Himpleton was talking to CV.
Drugstore or anything.
Yeah, twice removed as well.
How about
like
what led to this call? Like what? Why did she?
Well, I know what led to it.
Yeah, we know.
I know what led to it. I just want to know why he told him this stuff.
Yeah, we know that.
And so I can't help but wonder, was this ever addressed? Because I heard it. I heard Himpleton was talking to CV because he was Mrow's biggest hater. And I'm sort of doubting that at this point. Not that you can trust CV. Clearly the dude's a troll, but even a troll can make a good point in a particular video. And you gotta give credit due where it can be found. Now this video is going to be long enough, takes several tangents, but I just wanted to point out a few things I noticed that isn't being covered by a couple of other people in all this crap going around Himpleton. And I'm sorry if the title I end up going with is a little bit deceiving. Mrow, I don't know how he factors into this. I don't know if I will ever do, but I'll probably do a little bit more digging and research. But I want to get this out before the commentary cycle is over on this, because who knows how long that will take. Normally I avoid commentary at most calls. Occasionally I touch base and want to know what's going on. This, I know a little bit more than some people, and finding all this out, it's something I think should be added. Will it be? Who the hell knows? I'm a small person on the internet who just does videos when I feel like I got something to say about something. So until next time, I'm done.
Boost!
Nine S!